Hey guys, it's Jess, and today I want to show you how I pack for a typical one-day trip to Hersheypark. As most of you know, or maybe some people don't know, especially if you're new to my channel, my family, who's me, my husband, and my 6-year-old daughter, are season pass holders for Hersheypark, and we take several day trips every year. We live a couple hours away, but we try to go about once a month or so. I just wanted to show you how I typically pack for a day at Hersheypark because I've got it down to a science by now pretty much. It's a little easier now that Rachel isn't a baby. That was complicated, but this is a little bit easier. Okay, so first of all, yes, this is my fanny pack, and it is a godsend. I used to wear a crossbody to the amusement parks, a crossbody purse, and it was fine and it worked, but it just got in the way a lot. And this is so much better. And I can wear it on almost every ride. And it's just so easy. It's just always right there to get stuff out of. So I wanted to show you what I kind of pack in here. This comes on every single trip. So in this front pocket, this is what I like to call the pharmacy because we have a lot of emergency stuff in here or stuff that we may need. Like here, says Tylenol, but there's just lots of random medicine in here depending on who needs what. Feminine products just in case. We have lots of band-aids in case anything happens, like blisters and stuff like that. You can see that they look well used. They've been in here for a while. I kind of don't really unpack this very much unless things need to be replenished. And yes, of course, they do have first aid at the park, but in case of a real emergency, if I'm not anywhere near a first aid station, this stuff is right here. I keep a couple camera wipes in here as well. It's such a bad habit of mine. I'm sure you've noticed in some of these amusement park videos. I keep forgetting to wipe my camera lens all the time, and then there's like dust on it, and it's really frustrating for me because I can never see it when I'm actually filming, and then I go back to edit it. I'm like, oh, come on, Jess. I'm still learning. So maybe I should set a timer on my phone because especially when I'm out and about, I'm seeing dust on the lenses. So I should set a timer on my phone and be like, yo, wipe your camera lens down. So they go in there too. A couple other Advil packs that don't fit. The other one's in there somewhere, I think. I think there's like, I have like 4 of them in there. Well, I'll find it. A shout wipe. You can see this looks a little used too. It's been in there a while. These shout wipes are great for stains, so I always like to have those on hand anywhere I go, not just at Hershey. A couple of spare batteries. These are for my neck fan, which I'll show you in a minute, not for my camera. I also carry my camera bag with me, and I have spare batteries in there. So my camera bag is tiny though. Can't fit very much. I kind of want to upgrade eventually. I always keep cough drops in because I'm a singer by trade. I try not to scream on the rides too much, but sometimes you can help it. So I want some cough drops for, you know, vocal health. Here's the other medicine. Okay, and that's pretty much everything. That's the front pocket of my fanny pack. Okay, inside here, we have a couple of compartments. This is the big compartment. In here, I have our season passes, and I have some other Hersheypark related things. I think there's some complimentary fast track passes in there we received once. That's on this side. On this side, I don't have it now, but I try to transport things. I don't bring my whole big wallet with me. It's unnecessary. I transport like my debit card, my driver's license. I bring our insurance cards too, like health insurance, because you never know. So I transfer those, and cash. If I have cash with me, I'll put it in this slot here as well. Not moving it over right now because I'm still going to be using this before we go. So I'll just kind of put that back in my purse. Okay, in this big compartment here, I'm going to keep a few things. I have Wet Ones wipes, necessary if you have a kid. You never know when you need those. I always have them in my purse. Just a regular pack of tissues. And this is new. This is going to be the first time I'm bringing this to Hersheypark. This is my neck fan. I got it for our Virginia vacation. And I'll definitely link that playlist down below. It was a fantastic vacation. We went to King's Dominion and Busch Gardens. It was very hot. So this really came in handy. Just kind of turn it on there. I got it for like $5 at Walmart. And that's what those other batteries are for. I don't know how long they last in here, but this really comes in handy. So I'm going to put this in this compartment as well. Now, I used to put my phone in this big compartment, and then I used to put my phone charger in here, but I upgraded several months ago to the Samsung Galaxy 9 Plus. Oh, there I am. Hi. I upgraded to that a few months ago, and the battery on life on this is amazing. So honestly, I don't even need a charger in the park anymore. So that means, and that's good because now I have more space for my neck fan. So I just put my phone up here. All right, so yeah, I put my phone in there, and zip it up, and I'll zip that up, and that's my fanny pack. So yes, it is so handy. Okay, next I pack my water park bag when necessary. Obviously the water park isn't open all year, and we don't go every single time, but this is how I normally pack for the Boardwalk Water Park. I pack everything in this nice big bag. And first of all, I pack one towel for each of us. Definitely very, very important. Even if it's really hot and you don't necessarily use it to dry off through the day, you need something to dry off with, definitely when you're changing it back into your dry clothes. Obviously, we have a nice bag of sunscreen for all. I also pack these wet bags. They're just plastic Wegmans bags. I pack one for each of us to put our wet clothes in at the end of the day. That is so important. On like Hersheypark groups and just water park groups in general, I see a lot of questions about what do you do with your wet clothes. So this is the best solution possible, I think. Everyone just gets their own wet bag. You throw everything in it, flip-flops, bathing suit, towel, everything when you're done with it. In the meantime, you can either take them down empty, like I'm probably gonna do with Rachel's, or you can do what I did and you just kind of fill it up with your dry clothes that you're going to change into after you're done with the water park. Because what I usually personally do is I like to wear my bathing suit on under my clothes, and usually with some like swim shorts and like my t-shirt or tank top. And then it's a lot easier. I don't have to do like a full change. So I have like an extra pair of shorts and underwear and stuff like that in there, ready to go. Now for Rachel though, I do it a little bit differently. I usually do bring her down just in normal clothes, and I change her into her bathing suit once we get there. I think for her that's a little bit easier. So her wet bag is empty right now. I'll be packing her bathing suit. Actually, I might even put it in there for the drive down. And I have her cover up as well, which is like a towel-y Beauty and the Beast one. And I think Adam kind of goes back and forth whether he wears his swimsuit down or changes there. I think he mentioned that he is going to wear his down this time, so I didn't, grab anything for him, and I just have his wet bag for him to, pack up as needed. So there's that. Now, very, very important, footwear. So important. You want to make sure you have some form of water shoe or flip-flop. I've done both. Like the water shoes that you can wear on the rides and just keep them on all day. And I've done the flip-flop thing. These days I'm leaning much more toward the flip-flop thing, because every time me or Rachel or anyone has worn those water shoes, we get bad blisters. Really bad. And I've never found a pair that doesn't give you blisters. If anyone out there knows of any, feel free to let me know, because I'd appreciate that. So we do the flip-flop thing, which is sometimes annoying because sometimes you have to walk on the hot sand. Like let's say you go on a water slide, you put your flip-flops in the hole by the entrance and you ride the ride, and then you got to walk back around to the hole where your shoes are on wet or on hot pavement. That can be annoying. However, I found that you don't really get blisters when you do this, and in the long run, I think that's better. So we're going to be packing 3 pairs of flip-flops. Of course, we will never wear our flip-flops down to Hersheypark. We will always change into them in the water park, because in my family, you are not allowed to walk around any amusement park unless you're wearing sneakers. I don't understand how people can walk around in flip-flops all day. I see it. I don't understand how they can do it. I love flip-flops. I love wearing them in my daily life, but not to Hersheypark. But we do wear them in the water park. So there's 3 pairs of flip-flops here. For me personally, I also pack a pair of cheap sunglasses. I have extremely sensitive eyes. I have bad eyesight. I have contacts. On the lazy river especially, I find that it's just too much if I'm not wearing sunglasses. So I have these. I also have a pair of goggles, which some of you may have seen earlier in the year in one of my hauls. I think it was the mystery haul, perhaps. I bought myself goggles because Again, my eyes are so sensitive that I just need them on some of these water rides, especially the new ones, Breaker's Edge and Whitecap Racer. So this water park bag is packed and ready to go. I did put Rachel's bathing suit and flip-flops, because they're brand new flip-flops, so they're not dirty, so I don't mind mixing them in with her bathing suit. And her cover-up, I did put them in her wet bag just for storage. I have my dry clothes in my wet bag, and I just have to get Adams in there when he's home from work and, you know, ready to go. But this is all packed and ready. I also pack a car bag for Rachel, and if you've watched any of my packing videos, I'll link maybe one down below. It's no different from anything else. It has just kind of books and coloring books, and I'll probably throw the Kindle in there just so she has something to do on the ride down. Although it doesn't matter how many things I have in there, it has not prevented her from asking, are we there yet, at least 20 times on the 2-hour drive. If you want a more in-depth look at what's in one of her car bags, I'll link it below. And finally, drinks and snacks. Now, I do have to say, when Rachel was an infant, it was, I think I mentioned this before, it was extensive, the stuff we had to bring. Or not even an infant, a toddler or a preschooler. We had to bring so many things, like juice cups, sippy cups, and multitudes of snacks throughout the day. It's much different now that she's bigger. So this is actually not that much. I also do have to preface this and say Hershey generally does not like people bringing in too much food. So you have to definitely use just, I think, common sense. They don't make a big deal about if you have some food for a child. They don't want you bringing in giant coolers, 4-course meals. They don't have well, they do have picnic facilities in the park, but they're not for you to use. They're for like catering and big groups and stuff like that. There are picnic tables in the parking lot, though, if you want to kind of go tailgate or something. That's totally allowed. But generally, you're not allowed to bring in like big meals, but you can bring in some snacks, especially for children. We haven't had any problems doing this, and we've been doing this for 6 years. So, yeah. But I have seen them detain adults who wanted to bring in alcohol. FYI, that's a no-no for nobody, so don't even try that. All right, and I guess I'm going to use this Princess Sophia lunchbox, which is like 2 lunchboxes ago for Rachel. I don't know. We usually have this blue cooler that we bring, and it was perfect for like bottles and stuff, but obviously we don't bring those anymore. So I don't know where that is. It's missing. I bet Adam took it to work and left it there. But I think everything's going to fit just fine in this. And I'll throw an ice pack in here. But what I'm going to do is we are going to throw in kind of one lunchy meal. Like I'm going to pack her a sandwich and throw in an applesauce pouch. Because she's an extremely picky eater, and I do not want to, waste money by buying her like a lunch and then she doesn't eat it. Because 9 times out of 10, she will not eat it. So at least if she's not eating the sandwich I brought. So that's my philosophy. So that's like a lunch. And another thing is, if she does eat, it's usually like chicken. So I don't want her eating chicken for 2 meals a day. So yeah, although she's starting to broaden her horizons slightly, but... So yeah, so that's like one like lunchy meal and she can have. And if she decides, hey mom, I feel like trying a Nathan's hot dog because there's a nice Nathan's stand at the boardwalk or something like that, by all means, Rachel, please eat something different. But I'm not opposed. But this is just to make sure we do have something she's going to like. And I do have just a couple snacky things as well. I think the last few times, like this year in particular, I don't even think she's really even eaten these. But, you know, Hershey doesn't really sell a lot of little snacks and bags of snacks for kids. So I just bring a bag of fruit snacks and I put some goldfish in here. So that's for Rachel. And of course, our cups. This is our season pass holder's cup that we can refill for free all year long. It was quite the ordeal accessing this. I'll link that video below to our first trip to Hershey this year. It was like a nightmare trying to acquire something we had already paid for. So, but the cup is great because, you know, it pays for itself really, because you get to fill it up like every 10 minutes or something. We don't do that. We probably fill it up a couple times a day. And this one, we're going to bring our Twisted Timber was one this time just to kind of show it off a little bit. But this is just going to be for ice water. You can get free ice water anywhere in the park, and it's much, much better for you to bring your own cup. It doesn't have to be an amusement park cup. It can just be a regular thermos or whatever you want, or your child's sippy cup or something. They'll fill it up for free, no questions asked. Free ice water. This worked in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It worked in King's Dominion, and it works in Hersheypark, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal for them to deny you ice water. So back in the olden days, I used to be buying those $4 Dasanis every 2 hours, and those add up. I think last year was the first year I finally realized that this was a thing. And Adam and I were just walking around Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and we're like, why have we not been doing this for years? So we have one for ice water that we all share, and then this one refillable that's usually like a soda or something that Adam and I just drink, really. Rachel just needs water. If she really wants a milk or a juice or something, we'll get it for her, of course. The bottom line with all of this is that, especially if you have children, if you need to bring in some snacks for them, it is very much a good idea, and they're not going to give you a hard time about it. And free water. That is really important as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video seeing how I typically pack for a normal day, one-day trip to Hersheypark. Like I said, I pretty much have this down to a science at this point. So feel free to ask me any questions, because of course every family is a little bit different, so you may have different needs. But I'm sure I can give you some advice on it if you do have any questions. So in the meantime, a Hersheypark packing video probably means there's a Hersheypark trip coming up. So you can probably look for that video as well. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh, Slimer looks like he's licking our water bag. Whoops.